Hi Jericomovie, it's really nice talking to you, and I'm somewhat of a fan. I am a little bit sorry for my English maybe. I am from Poland and English is my second language. This is the response to the video about the sick soul. I will introduce myself. My name is Marcus. I'm a singer, life coach, vocal trainer and philosopher and the writer. This should tell you that the idea of a Renaissance man is for me is something to aspire to. And I really do think that that everyone should aspire to this idea. Also, what I wanted to say is that I'm very keen about the rebuttal of scientism and materialism that you did in your earlier videos. That is because I was the kind of person when I was in college. I really thought that the science had all the answers, and I was a scientist. Someone that is believing in scientific method, almost like in the religion, with no awareness of the assumptions. And it ended after I saw your video that was called Materialism is for Dummies, and it was really insightful and really made me free from this strange ideology. So again, really nice meeting you. Now let's go to my answer, because I wanted to tell you something about your vision of a Buddhist. And you said that your understanding of Buddhism is that you shouldn't have any expectations and no hopes, and then everything will be good because you will feel good because you will not expecting anything. So you said that it was not very sexy idea, and I agree. And I also have to say that it's not whole idea of Buddhism. As a singer and as a life coach and vocal trainer, I discovered firstly really hypnosis and afterwards meditation. And you just missed that part from whole Buddhist tradition. The meditation is the most important thing, because you know what? You never see Buddha differently than meditating anywhere. I'm talking about the figurine. This is strange because you know what? The Renaissance man that you were talking about is not only about the artists and scientists together, logic and art together. It's also about experience. It's also about getting out to the world and experience stuff. Like Leonardo da Vinci was performing autopsies on the bodies from the cemetery at nights. It's that kind of stuff. And you just missed the whole experience from the Buddhist tradition. I am not a Buddhist. I am not really into any ideology. I consider myself metaphysically idealist. I have to say that this is a little bit of misconception that you gave about the Buddhist tradition, because you have to firstly know what is an expectation and what is a hope, and you can discover it through meditation practice. Expectation is just a thought that is perpetuating in your brain, in your mind. It's a thought that is kind of a prison that you are in. It's not like you said that it's a joy of expecting something good to happen. It's a different thing, because this is not an expectations that the Buddhists are talking about. You were talking about pure joy, like I know good stuff is gonna happen to me, so I expect good stuff. And this is, everything is okay in Buddhist traditions with this. The expectation is defined differently. I will tell you a story to make it more clear. Let's imagine that you are looking for a love of your life. You have expectation that she has to be blonde. So she has to be blonde, she has to have long blonde hair. So suddenly in some subway station you meet a girl and you get into a conversation. She's really sweet, she has lovely eyes, there's a chemistry and stuff like that, but you're not there, you're not really talking to her, because you're still thinking, no, she's not a blonde. She's wearing a hat and she's got short hair, and this is not the one. So you just say goodbye, leave her on the subway station, even not caring for the phone number. And she looks at your back, and suddenly she takes her hat off. You can't see it, but the long blonde hair are cascading down her arms. Why didn't you take the phone number? Because you expected the blonde to show up. Okay, so this is the expectation. And when you get rid of expectations, when you're starting to experience the world differently, like with no scheme to put you in a prison of your mind. Okay, so I hope that I'm clear. The other stuff about Buddhism, you said about the experience of feeling the oneness with the universe. And thank God the clock just stopped. This is strange because I am a non-smoker, non-drinker, and I did not really ever took any drugs. And through the meditation practice, I have the experience of the oneness with the universe almost every day. And really right now I have this experience. This is not a psychedelic experience, really. This is a kind of experience that I consider more natural than this other experience that we are learned to have. And why you have this misconception? Because you are not experiencing the meditation practice. And I'm talking about a meditation practice that is based on an assumption that you have to do, feel, and think nothing when you are meditating, and then take it to your life, not just sitting and meditating, but in relationships with people, talking to people, doing stuff with no conscious thought, just upon an impulse of some kind, okay? And of course I think that psychedelic drugs can enhance the experience to make you feel that natural state. And why is it a natural state for me? It's because I remember that when I was a kid, I had this experience that disappeared after I was an adult. Many children have this experience. Many children do not consider themselves separate from the world. They consider themselves one with the whole nature. And after the process of socialization or something like this, so this is disappearing. So I encourage you to be a Renaissance man and to experience what it is like cutting the thoughts, cutting the feelings, and what is left when you really will cut out your expectations. I have to also say something about your differentiation of the mind and also of the artist and the scientist, the artist and the logical mind. You said that there was a subconscious mind and a conscious mind, and for me this is just wrong. I think there is consciousness, but there is no conscious mind, because when you are awakened, you are conscious of some stuff, and when you are dreaming, you are conscious of your normally unconscious mind. So consciousness is just a state. You can be conscious of the stuff that you are unconscious normally, and you can be unconscious of the stuff that you are normally conscious. So it's like a mode. Okay, so I will state my differentiation of the mind. So I consider a mind like this. There is a logical mind with language and with rules, with ideology. This is the really slow mind. This is the mind that is keeping up with language, you can easily speak with it. So the other kind of mind is, let's call it for the sake of argument, subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is a little bit like animal mind. It's considered with sex, food, aggression, fear, fight, flight responses and stuff like this, okay? And there is unconscious mind. And the unconscious mind, and I will call it just for the sake of argument, because I think that you can be conscious of this part of mind and you can be conscious of this. You know what I mean. Okay, so let's call it unconscious, normally in the awakened state, unconscious mind. And that is the part of mind that we consider creative. It deals with creativity. And creativity is without schemes, without any rules, always out of the box. Let's go back to the Buddhist thing. You know, the expectations are the box that you're in. If you get rid of the box, you will see the whole world outside of the box. Living with this Buddhist rule is really making you happy. Not because you are just out of your expectations, but because you are out of the box. And so if you are out of the box, you can see almost the whole picture. And when you see the whole picture, you're starting to know there are so many possibilities that you can do or achieve that you couldn't really think of when you were expecting or hoping something. And I think there are like three kinds of people, okay? And these kinds of people are like this. There is a logical man, there is a kind of scientist, and the scientist is a guy that the logical language kind of brain is governing, taking control over the animal brain and over this creative brain, okay, mind. So this is a trap, because it's just like the Buddhists say. This is the guy that believes in the scientific method and only in it, okay? This is the guy that doesn't see any assumptions. Why? Because he is always in the box. And because he is in the box, he is not a Renaissance man. The second kind of person is a kind of person that animal mind is taking control over the logical mind and over the creative mind. And so this is the aggressive kind of guy or a woman who is really fearful and want to fight with you, and everything is about control, power, money. So this is the animal mind taking control. And the Renaissance man, and I will call this the artist, is the guy that the creative mind has control over the logical mind and over the animal mind. Firstly, you are seeing the whole picture without rules, without schemes, intuitively. Then you are making rules from what you saw. And if you will see that something is wrong with those rules, you can go back to your creative mind and again go and make the rules much better. And because you said the reality is unpredictable, I think that this process should really be very often pursued by any intellectual. So this is like understanding that there are assumptions that are governing scientific method, that are just questions, that are not real stuff. You have to just believe in them to believe in all scientific method. So when you are in this process, you are in the creative mind controlling the logical mind. So I think your differentiation between the artist and the scientist is wrong, really, because I think, are there really no artists in science? Think about this, especially that almost all great scientific ideas came from this creative mind, okay? So you can be an artist as a philosopher, you can be an artist as a scientist, you can be an artist as a writer, you can be an artist as anyone you would like. So the artist is just a mode of your mind. And I am sure that you are one of them, that you are the artist philosopher, okay? So what I say is that you are using your creative mind to control this logical mind, to communicate with people your vast, great, out-of-the-box experience. And I can assure you that I know this just from the observation, because there are many okay, we are getting into scientific method right now, but there are many studies that show, and this is from, or also taken from my experience, that show that you can really know how the person think. The person whose animal mind is in control is talking very aggressively, like gestures, and they're putting their hands in fists. Money, power, you're an idiot, stupid. The other kind of person, like this logical mind taking control over the creative mind and the animal mind, the in-the-box thinker, is almost without gestures, because this logical mind is really slow, and you have to put aside the creative mind, you have to control yourself. So they're talking like this, without any gestures. Where the creative mind is taking control, we are seeing the gesture before the words. So it's like, I'm going to this shop. So every time I see you talk, you have your gestures before your words. So you are already an artist, philosopher, maybe not knowingly. And also about meditation, many times there are people who have natural meditative states. And I think that you have them and you experience them. And this is the kind of experience that you are considering yourself feeling, or feeling differently about the world than others that you know. This is the meditative state. And what you are drinking right there is green tea. Is it? Because if it is, you know what? Green tea is really promoting alpha brainwaves. Alpha brainwaves are considered the brainwaves when the people are mostly in good communication between creative mind and the logical mind. It's like synchro harmony. So if you like green tea, maybe you should consider my words, because maybe you like this state of mind that green tea does to you. Relaxed, creative, and awaken at the same time. And I will just do the summary of this whole thing. So I completely agree that the idea of the Renaissance man is worthy, and it should come back with meditation, with mind discipline of some kind, not just philosophy, but meditation and philosophy. And the second thing is, I hope that you will answer my doubts about your Buddhist view. Why did you just cut the whole meditation thing from this? And I met many Buddhists, and they are completely not like you said. They are meditating, they are in the mode that you are considering that the world is mental and everything is possible and everything is joyful. They are really like this. And second thing about the experience of the oneness of the universe, it's not just about psychedelic drugs. It's completely untrue. I am all the time, every day, experiencing this oneness of the universe and other strange stuff when you are meditating there are showing up. And I think that there are artists in science, and that the artist can be a scientist, and that the artist is just a mode of operating your mind, mode of perception. And tell me, did you like your green tea? Thank you, Jericho, and waiting for your response.